Okay, so this is the first demo review of the Marriage Without Delay form prepared by Aubrie, Blake, and Matt.
So tell us a bit about the form and paste the PDF into the Slack channel.
I just sent it in the assembly line.
Awesome.
And let's see, can I pull it up?
I just hear panic clicking.
Instead of a mouse, it's really loud. I'll just share my whole desktop.
Oh, bold. Okay.
So this is the form. It's actually really short. It's just this top section. And it's so that you can waive the 3-day waiting period to get married in Massachusetts after you obtain a marriage license, which you have to go to your town or city clerk, which is not a courthouse, we learned.
Do you maybe want to, because this is a very specific form, I don't know if maybe this is putting you guys on the spot, do you want to just walk us through what the process is to try and get married in Massachusetts? Because I didn't know, and then obviously I learned a lot about it. And now my search history is all how to get married in Massachusetts. Okay.
Our form does that a little bit.
Oh, perfect. Okay, then let's without further ado.
Okay, well, hopefully it does. No changes here. And I don't, are Blake and Matt here? Okay, Blake, yeah. They're not muted. So this is our first screen, and it tells you how to get a marriage license.
Right, okay, perfect.
And then acknowledges that if you cannot wait the 3 days, you use this form to skip that waiting period. We have the city and town clerk directory here so that they can call the clerk and find out the information. And we are encouraging them to call them before to make sure that they're using the right courthouse, that they're planning on going to a clerk's office that is open during the pandemic, etc. But essentially, I think this walks you through the marriage license, the form.
This is perfect. This is exactly what I was asking for. Good job.
Yeah, this looks really good.
And we tell them to call because apparently some city clerks care which courthouse it comes from and some don't. So there's kind of some
good call.
Yeah, discretion there.
Yeah, our Katie, our SME, really set us straight and was very helpful. So we have what will the clerk ask for in the beginning?
Oh, this is very nicely set out.
Just let me know and I can change.
This is really good. Oh, that's good for me. I'm not sure if everybody else. This is like when you're reading in school.
Can you just, I can't see terribly well. Just check and make sure you've got punctuation at the end of every one of those bulleted.
The one at the fee for marriage license doesn't have.
Okay. And the last one.
We're still not doing language for
I know,
from
but
project
I
people.
can just make a note.
All right.
So if we go to next. We're trying to make
that's so good.
Blake, do you want to explain what this question does?
Yeah, so this is like a conditional where if you click yes, it only lets you put in one address, and then if you don't share an address, it allows you to put in 2.
Right.
So demonstrate the no behavior because that's actually the code, like the logic. And then this one is Caroline's suggestion. If the clerk tells you what court to file in, it says yes, and it hides the court locator.
Right.
To not feel like second guessing themselves. But if you say no, we still have the courthouse locator. But that's the only text that changes. You can also not select it, which I don't have the option now, and it lets you still go through.
Is there a reason that you aren't doing like a show if based on whether they say yes or no, whether the text is like you can try finding your local court? What I'm saying is like if they say no, then could there be a show if that I'm just aware of the like disappearing text thing. I don't know. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So what you're saying, instead of disappearing, it
could appear.
I mean, instead of making it disappear, don't have anything. That's what you're saying, right? Don't have anything. And then if they say no, then the thing shows up. And if they say yes, then they pick. Is that what you're saying? Instead of something disappearing, something showing up. That's what you're talking about, right?
Is there a reason that you guys, the decision that you made to make it disappear instead of appear?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
It does make sense to go the other way. Yeah.
So start with nothing.
Yeah.
Start with nothing, and then if they say no, then you can try finding your that appears. So have it as a show if still, but I just find it disconcerting. I think Quentin's talked about this before as well. Disconcerting when text starts disappearing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I don't know. Maybe we open it up to the floor. Does anybody else have any
I agree.
passionate thoughts about this?
Yeah, I agree.
Is it more disconcerting than text appearing?
Yes. It definitely is, because you think it's hard for people to read through, and then they see something changes and it's something that they were maybe looking at disappears and they don't know what happened. It's definitely more disconcerting.
That's actually happened to me before in a I don't know that it was a form like this, but whenever it does, I'm inclined to like go back.
Yeah.
I'm always inclined to go back and redo so that I can like figure out what I missed.
So you might want to try a show if instead of a hide if. I assume you're using a hide if, right?
I have no idea.
All right. Sounds good.
Yes, we're using a hide if. So,
I'm sure Quentin has talked about this before. It's definitely something that I will raise with him again, because it does, obviously it's there for a reason that people do the hide if logic, and I think we have used it before in some of the other forms, but it was definitely a discussion.
Well, it can also be a little bit like, you have the yes no variable, then there's a no yes variable, so it's the way you ask the question. So it's when you're doing it's all. Yeah, never mind. We'll find an example.
One question relating to this so right now this is not a required question. So if I go back, let's say, it starts when we come here, nothing would show here. Are we okay with this being blank?
So maybe you should make that a required question then. Did the court tell you?
Yeah, I do think there's some value in having the courthouse locator there. So it's kind of, before they click yes or no.
Why is that?
Because then they know that they can use it.
Yeah, if the clerk didn't tell them.
Right.
Maybe
it's more of a if the clerk told you which court to use, select it here and then have the drop down, and then maybe put if the clerk did not tell you which court to file in, you can try finding your local court by using the courthouse locator. What if you kind of restructured it that way?
I think you wouldn't show court name. Basically, you'd have one question. Did the clerk tell you the best court to file in? Yes or no? It's a very easy question to answer. And if they didn't, you can find your local court. If they did, you pick your court. I think maybe, Blake, if you're thinking about the courthouse locator, maybe they told you and you can't remember, or they may have told you something, not the court name. They may have told you, file in the court for Winchester or something like that. So then you'd have to look up Winchester.
Right.
So maybe that would be another way around it.
You also
That
could
would be
go
a
back
reason
to
to have
model
no
on,
show ifs or hide ifs at all.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm also thinking. We just delete that
and then we
line.
also, I think that also would sort of model, and we could go back and model on the existing ones where we have it like choose for you. It'll say, here's the one we chose. And then it says, if you think this is wrong or something, do this. And then we have the court locator sort of below. So you might also want to look back at that as the model.
Yeah.
Oh, and maybe maybe you could follow that model if they say no, but if they say yes, then they can just pick.
Well, we
I
always
mean, the
have
thing
it so
is,
that they
when you
can pick,
guys,
but there's always, you can change it.
yeah,
So
when,
at the end, it's just like, if this is not what you wanted, here's the court locator. So you could always just, if you need the court locator, here it is.
yeah. I
There are
mean,
no
when,
judgments about why they need the court locator.
when the team was working on this interview, Quentin was still working on the courthouse locator. You know, it wasn't, you couldn't have used that when you guys first put this in because it wasn't ready to be used yet. So I think that this is a stopgap until we can do that. So it's not like you picked this over this. You didn't have a better solution before.
And all I'm saying is that it already has a model for including the courthouse locator as a, like, if you need it, here it is.
Thanks, Sam.
And so that might be something to look at.
Yeah.
So do we have an action point for the team? Like a decision?
I guess to look at, I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing is look at one of the other interviews that has it, right? Or look at or maybe better, look at the code, stick it into your interview, see if you like it and how you can manipulate it.
If you could just use the code, then that would be great. If you just implement it, just implement that.
Yeah.
And if not, then I would say the fallback is avoid having to ask the question and do the one where it's like, if you know it, you know, if they told you, put it in here, otherwise choose it. And, oh, by the way, here's the locator.
I think the rationale of asking them if the clerk told them is kind of, it's an important thing to do in the process. So it's like a second prompt.
Reminding them. Yeah.
Right.
To maybe make that call if they didn't.
Yeah. That's a good
Good point. It's a very good point.
We can customize the language around the courthouse locator to do this. Right?
Do you want to put the help text there too as well, or like provide them information about how to call the clerk? Because you provide a lot of information about the clerk on the first page, but do they have access to that same information here?
No, but that is
on that other page, right?
So if this reminds them like, oh, maybe I will call the clerk, then there's nothing, you know, there might be something here to help them do that.
That's a good idea.
they just blow back past the instructions. Okay.
So you see, okay, that's a good idea. So you guys know what to do from this point going forward on that?
Yeah, we'll try a few different things.
Okay.
You guys have an example just for like other interviews? Do you know one off the top of your head that we could look at that would be similar, or? No, it's okay. I was just wondering. I'm just taking notes to.
The housing TRO, I want to say,
Maybe,
have we implemented that there yet?
I don't know, housing TRO. What about affidavit of indigency that Quentin just finished?
Oh, that's actually live on the website.
Yeah.
That one. I'll
And
get
that's
that for you
short,
guys. And
so
link
it's
it.
easy to get there.
Yeah.
I don't think the housing court has it, because I don't think the TRO one has it, because it's because that was the first one we put out, right? Unless he updated it, I don't think it
he
has.
might have updated it. Okay, so what I'll do is, you're right though, that it's nicer to have a look at the indigency one because of the fact that it's quicker to get through. So I'll send you guys the link to that, and you can see what it looks like. And if you do like the look of it, then the code is on GitHub on the MA Virtual Courts repo.
Thank you.
Good question, Matt.
All right. Move forward. This one is basic question, except for we did put why they're using it as like a call out that they will have to speak to a judge.
Okay.
But other than that, nothing special about the page.
Okay, perfect. This looks good.
This is a basic question. A preview. Do you want me to open the preview or just keep going?
Open the preview, please. Yeah, this looks good. And the docket number you won't have, obviously, because that's you're doing the court, you're applying to court, so the court will assign the docket number when you get there, right?
Right. We originally had a docket number, but the SME told us they would never have it.
Got it.
This is very minor. Where it says division, it just needs to say the county. It doesn't need to say the whole probate and family court. It just say like Barnstable, because it already says probate and family court on the form.
That's going to be a court selector thing, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not essential. It's just,
Yeah.
So I have a question about that. Is our understanding and our SME's understanding is that they can also file this in district courts.
Yeah, they can.
it says probate and family court on the form itself, though. But I know nothing about this form.
Yeah, it does say, it says all over the place you can file it in district court, but you're right, the form does say probate and family court.
Interesting.
Which is also good to call the clerk for that reason
Yes,
too.
exactly.
Because then, yeah. So I don't know.
That's a good point.
I can follow up again with our SME just to make sure that that's true.
It's true. You don't have to ask her if it's true. I think what you do is you say the form says probate and family court. What happens if the clerk says file in district court? What do you do then? Because it is true. I know it's true. I saw it everywhere. I saw it in the statute. Everywhere I saw it. And I was talking to Katie Milton about. So,
there's not a different form, is there?
True. I'd say,
And for
what do you
context,
do if you want to file in district court?
Yeah. And for context, this form was provided to us by the probate and family court. So
Yeah.
it's them, they're the ones who requested it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's on their list of like priority forms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, is it a different form for district court? Do you know,
So I'm thinking
Caroline?
maybe one that just has district court written there.
Yeah, I think the question is what happens if the clerk tells you to do district.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would be fine with limiting the probate, but if a clerk's going to tell them that they should file in district, then we know what to do.
Right. Okay, Chloe will follow up, and if in this form can you be used in both, we'll just put Barnstable, like the county, either. Okay, great.
Do you ask them if they're together, like at the time of signing the form?
Yeah, have instructions to
be together.
And the first screen, it says you need to fill what do you say? Your partner needs to sign. So tell them to stick around while you're filling out the form.
I'd have to go back to the language.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just wanted to check that.
We do say something about needing to be together.
Okay.
Which is I think we've brought up before whether we needed to have like send to another person option, and ended on that it was not necessary because this form is relatively simple.
Okay.
There's no changes on this one. So Mia helped me build this in. I don't think we have changed anything. So if we submit it, with the final review with our cover page.
This still looks really good.
And then
Maybe they've changed it. Maybe it is probate. Oh no, the probate or district court.
once we send it to court, we've customized this page a bunch, and
Okay.
it's pretty hefty because of the next steps and structure. All this information we also have in a downloadable form as well.
Oh, this is really nice. Cool.
Everything together in this last page, but I'll go back.
So it's there and in the PDF, the downloadable PDF.
Yes.
That's really nice.
And the only thing I might say is, so in that downloadable PDF, you also have the cover page for the court. You don't necessarily need that, although I guess it doesn't hurt.
To see what was sent to court, I mean.
Yeah, no, I think that's, yeah, you've described it there. You said it has the cover page, next steps. I think that's appropriate. Never mind. I should have stayed on mute. The only thing I might suggest as I'm thinking about it is you might want to move that link up higher.
I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure where.
The download link at the bottom of the page?
Yeah, maybe right before next steps, because then that's the same information after that.
And do you think that we should have the preview here or just remove the preview? Just this page.
You probably don't need to see the thumbnail. I don't know, what do other people think? If we move the link up to above next steps, nix the thumbnail, leave the copy there, but then it's clear that people could download and get all those same next steps. Do we need the thumbnail?
I think if we take out the thumbnail, the link should say download your form, just so they know it's theirs.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
But that's if it's changed.
Yeah. Or you might even say a copy of your form, just to really drive it home.
I really don't. I guess the only thing that I think about moving the link up is then it tends to like make you just click the link and not read anything.
And I think that's fine because the content in the PDF has all the same content as below.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the thing we're trying to avoid is they don't read all of this stuff and don't realize they can download something.
Yeah. When I look at this though, I'm not sure when the link says down, I mean, you don't want the link to be a whole sentence. And when it says download this form with cover page, it's actually the cover page to the court, which they'll sort of figure out. But then also the thumbnail they get is the cover page to the court. So I don't know. It's something I think sort of like program wise, project wide, it would be helpful to think about how we want to approach this and test this with people. I do think it makes sense to push the link up above because, as you say, all the next steps are in there. They can read them here and they can read them in your. But if I were going to include anything, down this, yeah, you have the next steps. So download this form and next steps.
Yeah,
that makes me think again to just nix the cover sheet. There's no in our other interviews, we just haven't given people the court's cover sheet when they get their own download copy.
Yeah. And they don't really need to see it. It doesn't have any information that they don't have. And they never see it anyway. They don't see it at the court or anything. So I don't know that they actually need to see it.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Maybe not for this one, but I was gonna say, I feel like usually anything you send to the court, you should serve.
Have a copy of, yeah.
And you're supposed to serve, like even cover letters, I feel like are technically supposed to be served.
Because they're part of the filing.
Yeah, but we're seeing this cover sheet as a fax cover sheet. So it's a consequence of the transmission, not a part of the document.
Right, but if I mail something to the court and I do like a cover letter, enclosed please find letter, I still serve that.
Yeah, if you have the cover letter. But if you fax something to the court, you don't then mail a copy of your fax cover sheet to someone.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, I think Kate is getting into this. There are certain, we're not e-filing, but there's certain protocols that that define e-filing. So in other words, when you really e-file, courts have to do, there has to be this back and forth information, and a lot of it's just like machine language. It's, and you never see that, and you never serve that. I'm not arguing really, I'm, you know, exploring the idea. I'm not one side or the other. But I think there's a lot that does go back and forth once you start doing stuff electronically that you don't have to serve and that people don't have to see, because it's really about establishing communication between machines, you know. So
yeah, I think the fax is the natural analog here. And yeah, just for reference, in our other forms, we have made the decision that you don't have to show the cover sheet to someone when they have the download.
I mean, the other thing you could do is put the cover sheet at the back so that the first thing they see is the form, and then you just let them know that this is the cover sheet that the court gets.
That's not confusing at all.
I think, yeah, right. I think unless there's a reason to provide someone the cover sheet, if we've made the decision to not give the cover sheet and all the other ones, I think we should try to be consistent as much as
I mean, Jody, yeah, we want to be consistent, but I think Kate's got a good point. I mean, I think both Kate and David makes a lot of sense, on both sides.
And if what Kate's saying is that, you know, I think what Kate's saying is that we should give it, so then maybe we should change it and give it across the board. I feel like we should be consistent.
So our previous process has allowed for, and this continues to allow for, when you actually do the sending, you have a preview of the sending on the other screen. That one has the cover sheet, right? So if you want to actually copy what you sent exactly to the court, that's that. This is a different document. This is your next steps and a copy.
So you get an opportunity to see and get that. How's that?
That opportunity doesn't go away.
Does that change your thoughts at all, Kate?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I mean,
I got confused too. I didn't know that there were, yeah.
I just think, like, I'm a little more comfortable if people have the chance to see, like, everything that was sent to the court on their behalf, and it sounds like they do.
Yeah, and they do see that. They should see that. So if you backed up, Aubrie, to
you mean to the preview?
Yeah. See, so now that preview, so that's interesting. So actually go back to the.
Well, there was a download with cover page button.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the.
Oh, down at the bottom there. Yeah.
And when it emails, will it email with the cover page?
Yes, it only. Well, it should.
What you mean to who? You mean to the court, Jody, or to?
No, I mean when it, like, you know how you have the option to either download it or you can put your email in and email it to yourself. When you email it to yourself, does it do it with the cover letter?
No, and by design we haven't done that unless you CC yourself on the delivery to the court.
Oh, there you go. So if you, yeah.
Is that this?
So if you back up even one further.
I don't think it's going to let me go back.
Form delivered.
Oh, before it was delivered.
Actually. Okay. I have one that's not done. Oh no.
Okay, here's where. So, oh,
are you looking for something?
Nope, keep going. Yeah, you're just going so fast. I'm just trying to make sure you don't overshoot. And so here, what should happen here, I'm trying to remember now if this is where we had. I have to, now I'm doubting my memory of other instances, whether or not we showed the cover page here. But we do have, you have the download with cover page after you submit.
Page now, okay. So if we submit it.
Yeah, so I think we should at least check and replicate what we did in other forms. But there's the review with cover page. Okay, that's what I was looking for. All right, and it shows the cover page there. That's right, final review with cover page. So yeah, so that's the. Yeah, and if you send me a copy, that's what I was looking for. So if you click send me a copy, now it won't. I'm not sure if it'll do this now in the test. I got a copy I got the court's copy actually just came through. But yeah, so that's where you got the cover page. So yeah, so if you want to be CC'd on what the court's getting, you have an option to get CC'd on to get that copy, and you'd have the cover page then. Aubrey, can you confirm that did you just get a copy?
I think I.
Be careful on the recording, where she looks like Aubrey's about to open her email.
Do you want me to pause it?
It's good.
Yeah, so the workflow is when you send it to the court, it adds the cover page, and you have an option. You are asked to review with the cover page, and you have the option to send yourself a copy of the thing you send to the court.
Yeah, I have one that I sent to myself yesterday, and it does have the cover sheet.
Okay, great. Okay, so that is so I think that workflow addresses Kate's concern, because when you send something to court, you can say, send me a copy, and you're also shown explicitly beforehand, here it is with the cover page. What we are seeing at the end is here is a copy, not the thing you filed, a copy of the thing you filed with additional instructions. And there, I don't think we need to include the cover page for consistency. Yeah, and then we move the link up and maybe drop the thumbnail. Is that what we think?
Sure. Yeah, and just change the language of the link.
Yes. So a copy of your form and instructions.
So if you do so you've got the link at the top, you're getting rid of the thumbnail, and then if you scroll down, it says PDF. That is.
Yeah, it's another
copy with no cover sheet.
Also doesn't include the instructions, but it's just your sheet. I've noticed that all of them
just the form.
Just the form, which I've left alone for consistency.
Yeah,
but
I think that
you could take it off the page also for that reason, because it's confusing.
Yeah, and then if you email that document, it emails does it email the thing without the same thing as the PDF? That would be my concern. I would want that email to email the thing with the instructions.
Yeah.
I've got it on my phone. Yeah, it's just the form.
Yeah, so that I would say we would want to look at changing if we could. So there's a code question.
Yeah.
But first pass is just rearranging, changing the language, and then seeing if we can get that send link to be the same PDF as you actually are downloading on that page.
Okay. That's all. Reasonable. I get that done pretty quickly. The last 10 minutes to look at our review page. Is that okay? Do we have time?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, nice job, guys. It looks really good.
It looks really, really good.
Got a lot of help from our friends. Not working before I had it up. I apologize. Oh, Maeve, just quickly, this is where we have the call out that they need to be together. If this needs to be
Right,
bigger.
got it. Maybe, how would we draw attention to that?
Is it a question? Are you and your partner together?
With a checkbox? Are you and your partner together? Are you and your partner in the same
Physically
space?
together at this moment to sign the forms.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna marry them.
Or maybe just tell them like you will both need, yeah, okay, you and your partner will need to sign this form together, yes.
But I think that what Kate's saying is to draw attention to it. It's quite a good idea to have them a positive action for somebody to do.
Maybe electronically. You will need to sign this form together electronically before you submit it.
So Jody, the difference between what you're saying and what Kate's saying is it's just something more to read. And Kate's saying you actually have to check a box or do something interactively to make sure that people understand that the partner needs to be there to sign.
Okay.
So
Even make it on a whole screen for that one question.
no, just have a checkbox kind of like on the main mass access.
You could, instead of having a sentence right there at the bottom, is your partner ready to sign? Is your partner there ready to sign this form when you finish the interview, or right now? Something like that wouldn't be the right language, but just a checkbox. Yeah. You have to sign together. Is your partner there right now, ready to sign?
Yeah.
Or
something to convey the urgency and the necessity.
Yeah, like this.
Both of you being
exactly
together.
like this.
So if so we put a question in asking if they're together, and if they are, they continue with the interview, and if they're not, it's like a stop. Make sure you're with your partner before you do this interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing you might do is, because it is such a short form, is let people know it only, even though it's got the progress bar, let people know this takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, because some partners will not sit around while you fill out the form online, even though they have to sign, and you got to go find where they are in the house, or if they've gone and done the errands, to come back and sign the form. So if you let them know that it takes 5 minutes to fill out this form, so tell your partner to stick around so that they can, is your partner willing to sit there while you fill out this form?
Caroline, it sounds like you just did your taxes.
Yeah, and you know what else? I don't want to take away from Sinead's birthday, but John got recommended for approval yesterday at his naturalization interview. So we've been filling out a lot of forms lately.
Congrats. Cheers.
Congratulations.
Not to take away from that.
Can we just back to the thing at hand?
Clarify whether you want it on this page like so, or do you think it should be its own screen as a question? I just got confused with the phrasing that we were going back.
I think it makes sense to put it on this page because people don't need to have another screen. And
no.
And in fact, you've got what will the clerk this is where we disagreed with the Bentley people, whether we want to use a yes, no button or a checkbox and a next. We could have yes, blue, yes, white text on blue background, no white text on blue background. What will the clerk ask for? Green. And I would really love to test that with people and see what they think. But for now, we have to just pick one.
Okay. So what's the pick?
What are we going to leave it? Do you want to leave it up to the form developers, or do somebody want to tell them what they think?
Form developers, do you want someone to tell you what, or do you want to make the decision?
I mean, I don't really even understand the difference, but to me, a check and next is easy. If that was
I think Blake, was that you? I can't see you on my, I think Blake suggested, like, are you guys together both right now? Yes. If not, it gives you a stop. And then that's where it says what Caroline said, like, this only takes about 5 minutes, but you will both need to sign this electronically together before you submit it. So
Jody, I think that's not the question is,
not it? Okay.
How are we going to present it interactively? Are we going to have a checkbox and a next button, or are we going to have a yes button and no button and a what will the clerk ask for button?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can me and Aubrie and Matt can deliberate how we want to do that, and then show you guys again, just because
Okay.
I don't know, we might run into issues doing one or the other. So
I would say follow the format, like follow the format and the flow of the form that you already have.
Yeah, I understand the options more. I think that a yes, no, what will the clerk ask for is confusing because people are going to see yes, no, and they'll be like, what is this referring to? Now I have a question. And I felt confusing. But I do kind of like if they don't select it, giving them the information that like you need to get it together, this is short, like, etc., as like the error message.
Yeah.
So a combo of everything that was said.
and also it's something that we have to add to testing now too, if it's going to be a can't proceed type of thing.
Yes, which is why I'm glad that we paused testing yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that took our 10 minutes, so
No,
I'm not.
No, finish. Go ahead. That wasn't meant to take your 10 minutes.
Well, no, it's just it is an error that I'm just wondering if anybody knows how to fix. Do you see how my screen does this?
Oh, it jumps off to the left. Is that because it's magnified?
It's all of a sudden chooses to magnify itself.
That's so weird.
A miracle.
I've never seen that.
You're on a Mac, right? Mac and Safari.
And my 0 button doesn't work. It's just like very hard to be a coder.
maybe it's something with like your command and your plus button.
I don't know. I think everything's broken.
So Aubrie, you didn't magnify it. It just then when it went to that screen, it automatically magnified it.
Yeah, my screen just always is automatically magnifying things. Does it
do it if you do it in a different browser? Does it do it like if you do it in Chrome or Firefox?
If I'm in Microsoft Word, like my computer is just broken. But
okay.
It was not about the form. It was an aside.
I thought it was about the form. I thought this was.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were asking us. Sorry. Okay.
No, it was.
Okay.
So these are working, which is really cool.
Oh, this is awesome.
So I can change this to Brad.
Brad Pitt with 1 T.
The lesser known Brad.
Oh, so this is your review screen. Nice.
It edits the PDF.
Oh,
when we
cool.
Which is so exciting. But the one that's not working because they're conditional on each other is if I change the addresses.
Okay.
So.
Oh, this is the thing you were talking about, the reconsider this morning.
So right now we've said that they do have the same address, but if I want to change like Rachel's address, it will not let me. It'll present it on the screen that I've changed it, but on the form it will continue to overwrite her address with his, because in the code we said yes, same address, which sets this user's address equal to this one. So I'm trying to build a revisit same address. You and your partner have a different address, and then I can say no, but it just continues to not let me override it no matter what. Whether I say no, come back and change something, say no, and then ask their address.
Enjoy your birthday. Sorry.
It doesn't matter like how this button works and what questions it asks. It's not overwriting their addresses because of that. And I was just wondering if anybody knew.
You might need to reconsider the value of same address before you reconsider the value of Rachel's address.
Oh, like in the order?
Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know if you can reconsider a question though. You might be able to reconsider the value. You might be able to say, reconsider, dash same address or whatever you have there in the question for Rachel Green's address.
Can I do that?
So if you open up the playground, so you know how Quentin, did you post about this? Someone posted about this in
Yeah,
the
they
post.
posted and Quentin posted back.
Right, so you know where the question for the second address is, or where the code for asking the question for the second address is. If same address, okay, go back there.
Yeah, this is what sets them equal to one another if they say yes to the same address question.
I wonder where that gets rerun. And where's the review section for it for that second address question? Okay, so let's go up to the top of that's the review section, but where's the thing that identifies what question will be asked when the user presses the edit button? users1.address, right? So let's go to where users1.address is asked, the question where user1.address is asked. And I suggest putting the whether you have the same address above the address itself, because that is going to. I'm wondering how to do this in the. So that's the second address. That's the first address, user0.address.
I don't remember any of my IDs anymore.
Okay.
Sorry.
There we go. What's the name and just look for users0.address. I mean users1. Right, where do you ask for users1 address? Okay, so keep going. Where's the actual question?
But it's not in our code that it knows to ask it. I don't remember how somebody helped us build this.
Okay. So maybe at the top of the review page, where's the question for the review page? So scroll up to the top of that. Okay, so reconsider dash, add a new line with dot dash, then user, whatever it was called, same address, whatever that variable was.
Where it asks
So,
for their address information.
The variable itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the variable. That might work. I haven't worked with reconsidered a lot.
Okay.
So that may or may not work.
So either reconsider.
Like you need to reconsider this value somewhere. Mm-hmm. There's nowhere where you're running the review code, and there's no interview order for the review code, which makes sense, but that's usually where I'd reconsider something. So I'm trying to think how else, but you can try it this way. And if this doesn't work, we can try something else, but we might want to save this for after.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay.
Right. We might do a session.
Yeah. Okay. I'll play around with putting it this and the variable for the address and input as well here. That is helpful.
Yeah, totally.
I think you guys have done extremely well, and really, really good job.
Love the review string.
Yeah, that's really great. Really, really great.
It was okay.
Stuff.
I was gonna give Quentin a hard time when he was like, "I'm busy." I was like, "I put that question in at 7:45 last night."
Yeah.
A hard time. Be like, if I put it in the channel, then Quentin can't respond. If we're supposed to be not sending Quentin.
Well, you can put it. You can still put it in the channel specifically. I can try and help you construct that question so that it's easier to answer.
Wait,
if we can't make it work.
No, thank you, Michelle. I was going to give Quentin a hard time.
Definitely do that too. That's important as well.
Okay, guys, really good job. See you guys on Slack. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good work, everybody.